It's real breakfast hours. Eat breakfast to view up. Today's breakfast is...
We had dinner again.
Yeah, it happens.
So I had some frozen fried rice.
And I had a Hungry Man, but what was it again?
Salisbury steak.
Salisbury steak. It was really good. Welcome back to Real Breakfast Hours.
Whoa.
Number 19, baby.
19.
Whoa! Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa!
I'll put them right next to us.
Film the episode or you're fired!
And then something wacky and uncharacteristic happens.
Did you guys film the episode like... Oh, hold on, my best Mark Hamill Skips voice. Did you guys film the episode like Benson asked? No, dude, we were gonna get to it soon. Yeah, Skips, don't be such a buzzkill. Then why is the sky on fire? Holy crap!
Are you telling me that Skips is voiced by Mark Hamill?
Yeah?
How did I not know that? He's a good voice actor.
He does so much. He's most known for the Joker.
Right.
Obviously for voice acting work.
Yeah, I think there's another thing.
There's something that he might be a bit more famous for in live action. Probably that one Christmas special he was in.
So true. Okay, well, folks.
Before we get into that...
I know, I'm just queuing it up so I have my notes, so I know what I want to talk about. Before we get too crazy, I guess we should go over the breakfasts that we have been submitted.
Yes, and also...
But I'm not gonna lie to you, it was 2 weeks, and even before the 2-week mark, like if we had filmed this last weekend like we should have, I think I would have said this then. There's too many submissions.
Too many submissions?
And not like in a don't send me your breakfast way, but like we might have to just pick a few to go over. We might be at that point where we have so many submissions.
We're going to stockpile and we're going to build them up. And then, because it was a little bit of a slower week for me.
Well, my parents sent me their breakfast every day, and then they started sending me the breakfast of, like, family members, because...
Okay, that's a bit excessive.
One of my family members that passed away a year or two ago, you remember?
I do.
They were having a celebration of life up north, where he's from. And so a lot of family came, and apparently my parents were like...
singing the gospel over our breakfast hours.
Yeah, so...
Hallelujah.
Rest in peace.
Just thank you for that, first. Second, one breakfast per week is plenty, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to see what you had Monday through Wednesday, Friday, you know? But, like, if you and somebody else, like, you could get as many different people's submissions a week is great, but like what Tom had for breakfast, I only need to see one breakfast that week from Tom.
Yeah. Well, that's not what I got, but yeah.
Right. But I'm just saying. Also, we kind of had real dinner hours a little bit today because we had to go to the gym and do this and a number of other things. So there's a little bit of a frozen meal night for us, but it's okay.
I guess I'll just go through what my mom sent me and pick what looks the most tasty. My dad sent some too.
Yes.
So I guess I can pick one for my mom. Well, one of them, it looks like they went out to like a diner or something and she got French toast.
Is that just one? Oh no, it's two toasts. Two toasts, okay.
It does look pretty good, I'm not gonna lie.
Let me pull up what my dear friends submitted.
And then also, she sent me my aunt's breakfast that my uncle set up for her, apparently. But it's all just stacked on top of each other and it's just coffee.
They made an artful photo of some coffee.
Not exactly breakfast of champions.
Hey, you know, coffee's very important. Jugs sent me one last week and then one this week. So how do we want it to be that? One per person per week, right? So I don't think you get like 6 points from your mom.
I think that's why my mom was sending so many, though, because she's trying to catch me up.
Tell you what, it's been 2 weeks, so you can get 2 points for that.
Okay.
And then one from another relative, right?
From my aunt, yeah.
So and you get 3 there.
And then my dad sent... He sent 2. He sent 2, so yeah, so give me 2 for that. Because you said it's been 2 weeks. Which, at the diner, he had...
So you're cruising at a fat 7 right now.
Yeah, he had an egg, some home fries, toast, and it looks like bacon.
That looks good.
It's just like a classic diner breakfast plate.
Jugs sent me breakfast that he made for his kids last week, and then this most recent week. We're gonna pick the older one because it looks a bit more fun. It looks like some either blueberry or chocolate chip, but probably blueberry, I would guess. Waffles, maybe an Eggo, and then some apple slices and strawberry.
Bro, I want to be Jug's kid. I feel like the breakfast he sends always look really good.
Oh, I have funny stories to tell about Jug's kids, but I'm not gonna do that because I don't know if you would want me to. Jug's home life is silly at best. But they get lots of love, and he seems like a good dad. So it just gets a little wacky in El Casa de Jugs.
I see. Oh, my dad also sent toast and eggs and berries and some watermelon that they had, it looks like, with orange juice. That looks good, too.
Awesome. Oh, actually, you know what? That just we were just talking about him, so it was Jugs' birthday last night. Happy birthday, Jugs.
Happy birthday, Jugs.
Somebody else has a birthday coming up. This one, right here.
Yeah. And for those of you watching this who are in our music group chat, and I'll be sending a message about this too, don't you worry. How dare you vote against Anastasia in my Broadway musical tourney in my birth month? Thank you.
Do it again.
Don't stop!
Do it some more. I voted
Don't
against
do it. Well, no, it's because our songs were against each other. But
Gotta do what you gotta
it's
do.
my birthday, and Anastasia is one of the greatest musicals of all time. I don't care that, yes, it's just a musical, like, Broadway version of an already animated film. Sometimes those are really good, and this is one of them. And it's extra good because instead of the weird, like, vaguely magical storyline they go with in the movie, it's actually a little bit more based in, like, probably what maybe could have historically happened if the Anastasia story were real. It's just a good show, and the music is delicious. So
Tell him, baby.
I could talk about Anastasia for forever. You know the little music box?
I do.
I literally have that.
I know.
I
Seen it.
love Anastasia. Favorite Broadway musical all time.
No diff. Negative diff.
Negative diff.
Negative diff.
Hamilton and Newsies are second and third. I don't know which one is which. Those are also very good, but I think Anastasia, it just has such a place in my heart. Once Upon a December, which is a song I submitted, it just has this ethereal, magical quality to it. Such a sense of longing. Beautiful. It's a waltzy kind of thing. It doesn't get better than that.
I have an announcement. I will probably never watch Hamilton because every time we get in her car, Aaron Burr, sir, plays when she plugs her phone in. So the number of times that I've had to hear, pardon me, are you Aaron Burr, sir? Like, it's grilled into my brain. I can't do it, right?
I'm gonna make him watch it sometime.
I was actually going to say I'm impressed with Michaela's family and her friends because we're tied at 7 right now. But it seems the little goof that we've made is that I did not count for other people's breakfast submissions from a week or two ago. So
Which
what
means
else do we
I
got?
get to take them because I'm the only one who noticed them.
No, they're from my friends. Silly. One from our boy Yusei. He sent a breakfast sandwich. Just a toasted egg in a sandwich. He put butter on the inside and then toasted the outside. And he did a pretty decent job of sending an actual cross-section of the sandwich. It's not like he cut it in half and showed it vertically or anything like that, but we're never going to let dear old Grungeman live that one down. So another one we got was, speaking of Grungeman, chorizo and cheese croissant with a hash brown. We made fun of him one time for having like a Slim Jim and an energy drink, and we made fun of Crollo for having that burrito. But this time, a chorizo and cheese croissant with hash brown is definitely a step up in the breakfast department from those two gas station meals.
Yeah, I would say so.
And then something from my mom, which is not strictly breakfast. However, she was on vacation when she sent it, and I believe was eating it at like 11 a.m. So it was breakfast for her.
Travel breakfast.
Yes, it looks like a really messy cheeseburger or something. With all kinds of stuff on it. Lettuce, tomato,
We're
bacon,
gonna talk about
all
those
kinds of
things
cheese.
That are those fries.
Something that my friends were roasting my mother for was the way that she squirted ketchup all over the fries.
can't be doing that.
I'm a little bit more forgiving on that one because I may do that if I was eating my own fries.
Oh,
But I'm
my
not a
goodness.
huge ketchup on fries person anyway. A lot of time, if we're somewhere that the fries are anywhere near approaching good, they're like fine without the ketchup. So I typically wouldn't do this myself just because I don't need the ketchup on them.
But it's just like I feel like fries are such a if you're gonna have sauce with them, you need to be dipping it. They're gonna get like not as crunchy, and you could get messy hands from it. It just and it's too much, you know. Like for me, I'm not a ketchup girl, so if I'm gonna have ketchup with fries, I just want a little bit. It's just too much.
By the way, that brings me back up 3 points. We're now at 10-7. But you know what?
It's a lot closer than it was.
It is so much, like, proportionally, it's so much closer. Shout out to my
Shout out
friends
to
for
my
keeping me in the
parents.
lead. Shout out to your family for keeping it competitive.
You're literally the only one submitting. My friends, where are you? I've been abandoned in my time of greatest need. Like, literally.
You know, both of my grandmothers, one on each side, they both watch this show. And I don't think I've gotten a single breakfast from either of them after weeks.
Yeah, but one of them messages me all the time, so.
Yes, one of them is a bit better with her
Shout out.
phone, I think, so.
I don't even know if I have Grammy's phone number.
Grammy doesn't text me very often either,
Yeah. That's okay. Yeah. So, sorry we weren't here last week. If you're on my Instagram or in our very exclusive Real Breakfast Hours group chat.
Patreon subscribers get it?
Subscribers only.
Just, we don't have a Patreon, but maybe we should.
One day when we actually have like 1,000.
Though I have some very rambunctious friends who are in that group chat, so perhaps not for you, Grandma.
It would be funny. Real Breakfast Hours Patreon exclusive group chat. That would,
God.
although we'll get into that. a little
Crollo
bit
the
later.
moderator.
That could potentially be not good. But I was sick last week. Yes, somehow I started med school July 3rd, which isn't that a fun start date.
So
The day
fun.
before July 4th.
And yeah, not
Which I had
not even that strictly. Like, you had to go in for orientation the Friday before that.
Yeah, June 30th. But I was just like 8 to 12 and annoying, especially because the last session was just like a library session. And like, listen, shout out to the librarians. You do so much. You're such a resource for us. But I just don't want to sit there for an hour-long presentation on stuff I already know. And yet I had to. I don't even know if it was an hour, but it was just long, and I was not there for that. But, I mean, I was there for it, but, like, in terms of support, I was not there for that. And then, yeah, Monday, July 3rd, classes started for realsies. But then I had the 4th off, which was nice. And then we got to the 5th. And then by the Thursday, which, by the way, I was doing things. I was so busy that week, so maybe it was related to, like, how stressed I was about coordinating this barbecue dinner thing, which was not actually barbecue, it was tacos. But
Forgot about that.
yeah, so I had to. My school does this thing where they match up first and second years. So there was like almost 400 people, maybe closer to 300 because not everyone showed up.
Beast.
In this thing that I had to like coordinate, and I had spent like that whole week making name tags. I don't have like a printer to make them with, so I was like handwriting name tags. I made him help me make like 80 paper lanterns.
That was it was excruciating for me. That's like, people, I have ADHD, and most of the time it's fine. Or rather, I have learned to deal with it in such a way that it seems fine most of the time. Sometimes it's not fine. And this was real bad for me. It was like 8:30 at night on a Saturday or something, right?
No, it was Wednesday night.
It was Wednesday night, and she comes down the stairs like a stack of paper, like this thick, of construction paper. And she's like, I need you to help me cut these. And technically, physically, yes, I know the words no could have come out of my mouth. but obviously I'm not going to tell her no. However, sitting there with a pair of scissors attempting to cut through these was grueling for me. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but physically I was sitting there looking at these scissors, like scissors in one hand, paper in the other, just like staring at it. And then like I would cut one and then like stare at the next one for like a minute. It's not hard, but there's like a mental disconnect there in actually doing it because of how boring it is and how much I do not want to do it. The worst part is, I asked her if I could cut multiple at the same time because it's paper and you can stack them. And I was like, oh, if I just take like 5 or 6 of these and bang, bang, bang. Literally, you cut like, it was a flat piece of paper and it was, you cut like strips, not even all the way through. You just like 3 inches across a folded piece of paper. You unfold it and then you roll it up a little bit so it made a little lantern. I was like, oh, this will go way faster if I could double, triple, quadruple these up on top of each other. And she's like, no, you have to cut them one at a time. I don't want them messed up.
Listen.
The morale hit was incredible.
He just like basically stopped doing it at that point.
I mean, still helped.
He still helped, but he was not happy that I told him that. But which I was like, listen, I'll literally finish it on my own if it's gonna be that big of a deal. Because if you cut paper a lot and like, if you're a crafty girl, you probably know when you start cutting multiple pieces of paper at once, it like never like stays on the midline or wherever you're trying to cut. Like, and then one of them is like a huge thing, and it's never even. And I did not want that for my paper lanterns.
But the paper lanterns weren't even anyway. You expect every single one that I cut individually to have
right,
even?
but closer. You know what I mean?
No, probably further.
No, closer. I don't mean like from each other. I mean like from the individual things. Anyways, that doesn't matter.
It was
my thing, and that's how I wanted it. And I think any crafting girly will agree with me that that was the right thing to do. But it did take a while. And then the next day, you know, I have all these paper lanterns and I have all these name tags, and I'm like, oh, thinking about this thing because it was at like 6:30, and I'm just like, And then what happens to me? But that I start getting a sore throat in the afternoon. And I knew then. I said, oh goodness, I am getting a cold. And I didn't want to believe it. And then, like, the next day, I still just had a sore throat, which is weird. Because for me, if I have a cold, it's usually, like, starts with a sore throat. But by that night, or, like, at least the next morning, I would have like stuffiness or a running nose, which by the way, if you hear me and I sound kind of stuffy, it's because I'm still dealing with like some residual congestion. So the next day I just had a sore throat and I was like, this is weird. That's never happened to me before. Like I had no other symptoms, just a sore throat. And I was like, that's so weird. And so I was like, do I have like strep throat or like some kind of laryngitis? Like, I don't know. Like, that's not usually how my colds go, you know? So that was not good. And then that weekend, I kind of like, my voice was like kind of like, well, obviously I didn't want to talk when I had a sore throat. Like, I basically didn't talk at all if I could help it when I had a sore throat because it really hurt. And then over
Definitely
the weekend,
no real breakfast
yes, there was no real breakfast hours happening. And then eventually the stuffy nose and like runny eyes did set in, and that was not fun. So I wore a mask to school all week because I was like, it's not COVID, but I don't want to get someone else sick. Because in second year with all my classmates, our tests are every 2 weeks, and they're like pretty big tests, which I just had one today, which is why we didn't film this weekend, but we're filming tonight. And already, like, I had not been able to study that whole weekend, or, like, even Monday last week, because I was so, like, you know, like, when I would look at my computer screen, like, my eyes would water, and my nose was, like, all upset, and it's just, like, how are you supposed to focus during that? So I just wanted to, like, get over it, so I would go to bed really early. So I felt, like, so behind on studying. I still feel really behind. Like, I took my test today, and sometimes when I would see stuff that I didn't know, I would just, like, couldn't help but think to myself, like, maybe if I had been able to study, like, more last week, I would know this better, and I wouldn't feel like I don't know what I'm doing. So that was really awful, and so I didn't want to, like, spread a cold or sickness to anyone else, so I wore a mask.
The plague to her school?
Right, because, like, it already affected me, and from what I've seen, the classmates I sat next to have not been wearing a mask or have any sick symptoms, so I think I did good. I don't think I spread it to anyone. But I don't know who I got it from.
Not me. I didn't get sick.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? The morning after I told her to drink some orange juice, she started feeling better.
Yeah, but that's also when I started putting like Vicks and stuff on.
So it sounds like she started recovering seriously, and then got better.
I was going to bed early and stuff all the other times. Like I thought that would, they tell you to get your rest. Apparently, it wasn't enough.
No Vicks, boom. No orange juice, boom. And probably not getting any better because you're not even sleeping all day like you should be.
I was trying.
Last week I was traveling for business again.
Oh, and that.
Yeah, so
It was an awful week for me.
Yes, so at like 6:30 in the morning on Tuesday, my coworker was outside in the rental car, and we drove down to Massachusetts for to spend 2 nights and work for 3 days. So we drove down Tuesday morning, worked all day, and then in the evening went to our hotel. We each had a room, obviously.
No sharing beds.
No sharing beds, not on that one. The rooms were reasonably small because it was in the heart of Boston. Spent the night there, checked out in the morning, worked all day again, then drove an hour after work to Marlborough, which I actually used to live in Marlborough. Or I think I lived right over the town line into Southborough, but regardless. We're right next to each other. We actually stayed in a hotel that night in a little plaza that I used to frequent, like, every weekend. Like, I would end up there either at one of the restaurants or one of the grocery stores or something near there. And before we even got to the hotel, so before we even knew exactly where it was, my coworker, he had asked me, where do you want to eat? I said, well, I'm actually quite familiar with the area. There's a restaurant there called the 110 Grill that has killer swordfish. We should go get some. And then we set our GPS to the hotel. As we're approaching the hotel, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm pretty sure I've seen this hotel before. It's in the same little strip mall area as the 110 Grill. So we just walked the 100 feet to the 110 Grill when it was time for dinner. And that was nice. So it felt like it was cool being in an area that I knew. So
shout out to the 110 Grill. Literally amazing swordfish.
Yes, which I didn't get on purpose. I let Austin get it, and he loved it. He said it was very good. I purposely did not get it because I knew she was probably going to end up wanting to go down there sometime because the mall there, the Natick Mall, is beautiful, and it's got a place called Level 99 on the inside, which is great for a date. It's like one part Wipeout, one part like an escape room. It's like you walk in, and then there's, I don't know how many of them there are, but there's 99 different little games to play, and each of them is in a room, and then it'll have like a rule set. And, like I'm struggling to describe it because they're so different.
Yeah.
One of them, for example, is you walk into the room, and all these rooms, they have 4 walls, so it's not like you can see the other games where you're playing one, with a few exceptions, but for the most part, they're boxed in. They're standalone. One of them we walked into it just had like monkey bars and things in the wall and the like fake water in the bottom of it that if you touch it, you fail. It's not actual water, you're not going to get wet, and all the room is padded, so you're fine. But the idea is that everybody in the room needs to make it to the other end, and everybody needs to press the button to win. And there's like a timer. And it's not just normal monkey bars. They're like vertical or really spread out, or at one part you have to shimmy across the wall. There was one where we were in a room that just has like a hole in it, and you can't touch any of the stuff around it. So I picked her up and threw her through the hole, and then I like tried to dive through it or something.
It didn't work.
But then
I did a number on my ankle.
Yes. I found out later that you can touch the bars. Like, you can't touch the rim of the window, but you can touch the bars outside of it. So next time we go, I'm going to grab the top and, like, pull my legs up and put them through. I'll still probably toss her through the window, though.
Maybe not.
Another one, you have... Like, a lot of them are mobile. Some of them are more thinking. Like, it's a block with 4 different sides, each face being a different color. And then there's like a bench with call it 8 blocks, placed for 4 on top, 4 on the bottom, and the face of each block needs to correspond to like the other one on top of it, but they have different colors on the opposite end. So you need to just like, and you're timed, of course. So you need to shuffle the blocks around in each position so they all match up before the time runs out.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
There's like, they have different categories. There's like physical, which are the ones like the bar one, and then there's like communication ones, and there's like mental ones. So, and like they overlap too, but.
One of the communication ones is 2 people go in. Most of these are for more than 1 player. I do feel like 2 players is probably optimal for most of them.
I don't know. Some of them I feel like some are definitely 2 players would be better, but there are a few that I think would be better with more people.
Yeah. The one that I'm thinking of for like a perfect communication example is basically a maze, like a mouse maze. One person crawls in, and the other person has to stand in the like control room, which is where you enter. And one person has to crawl around on their hands and knees and find different symbols, which I believe they light up or something.
Yeah.
And you have to tell them, like, she was doing the crawling because she's smaller, easier to get in there. And I was in the control room, and she would like shout out to me which symbol she would find, or you know what it was. It would light up on my end.
You tell me which one
I had like a board of symbols. One of them would be glowing, and I would be like, "You need to find a couple of pine trees and a beach ball." Like it'd be 3 pine trees with a ball, and she has to crawl around until she finds that symbol and hit the button next to it, and then I would get another symbol to tell her to do, and then she can exit the maze after she does a certain number of them.
Yeah, so that one's fun. So it was an awful week for me, but he got to go back to the old stomping grounds a little bit.
Yes,
Cool.
food was decent. Work was fine, tolerable. I'm not a person who loves work, but I also don't really feel like I need to be. It's just a job. It pays the bills, and it's tolerable. So, came home, and you were still a little sick.
A little sick, and then I had to be studying, because again, I had my test today, so it's just been a rough 2 weeks for me.
You know what? The hotel that we stayed at in Boston had a really nice gym on the inside, which I did use on
Nice.
Tuesday night when I was there. I was like the only person there.
Oh, nice.
It was very nice. It was curling them 45s. Nobody was in sight. I'm like, oh yeah, gains. Baby. We're going to the gym after this.
Yes, I should have said this earlier, because it's just like a little thing, but wearing a purple shirt because Speak Now, Taylor's version, is in fact out. She would have said it last week when it was more current. Now it's a little bit old news, but gotta represent a little bit. And also, if you've seen on TikTok, there's trends where people would be like, here's what I think my favorite albums are for Taylor Swift, or like how I would rank them. And then they're like, here's how, like, mathematically my ranking of the Taylor Swift albums.
How's the math work?
The math works by you spread out the albums and you list out all their songs, and then each song you rate from like 0 to 10, and then it averages all the scores for that album. So like if I gave Mean from Speak Now a 10, but I give Dear John a 2, right? Like it averages them. So, I've been doing that. Now, I'm a casual Taylor Swift enjoyer. Wouldn't call myself a Swiftie, really, because I'm not, like, that level. But, I grew up listening to her. She used to be country, and everyone listened to country music in my town. It's a small town in Maine. So, I grew up listening to her. So, I like some of her stuff, but I've been, listening to every song on all her albums just so I could do this mathematical ranking, and I will say it is a little bit different than what I thought my favorite albums would be. And I did in fact find out, I'm not done yet, I have to finish listening to Evermore and then do Midnights, and then I'll be done. But let me just say that apparently I'm a little bit of a Fearless and Red hater.
She looks at me for a fact, but I don't know what any of that means.
Well, anyways, if you do know what it means, I don't know. I just think that Fearless and Red have a few really good songs, and then most of the rest, Red not so much. Red has, a few really good ones, and then some like good ones, and then some like bad ones. Fearless has like a few really good ones, and then a lot of mid or bad ones. In my opinion, someone's going to like come find me and kill me for saying that, but
Melissa, probably.
yeah.
Our one friend who is a major Swiftie.
And you know what else? As I've been listening to Folklore and Evermore, which, like, this is the thing. I feel like people who like Folklore and Evermore, like, really like it. But I'm just, like, so much of the Folklore and Evermore albums are mid to me.
Michaela said, like, half of Taylor Swift's discography are skippers.
Yeah, no, literally. But Lover, which right now has my top scoring, and I think will stay that way because I do not... One, like, I don't think there's anything Evermore could do because I only have, like, 2 more songs left to beat it. And I don't think I like Midnights that much either. Like, there's a few songs that I like, and I have to listen to the whole thing because there's a few I haven't heard before. But, like, basically Lover has secured top spot for me. And pretty much none of the songs on Lover are skips. I mean, there's a few that are, like, not great. And, like, the thing is, and people who listen to Taylor Swift know this, Me by Taylor Swift is, like, a bad song. Like, objectively bad. But I was listening to it while cooking, and I was like, this is kind of fun to cook to, though. Like, it's still, like, a fun song. And that's the problem with Folklore and Evermore, is just they're not fun songs. And you know what? I like the era of Taylor Swift where it's just fun songs. Folklore and Evermore are, like, just all, like, very low energy songs. So it's like, I'm not, I was just, you know, if I wanted to listen to low energy songs, I'd listen to Lana Del Rey kind of thing, you know what I mean? So, I'm sorry. She's a good artist, she has good lyrics a lot of the time, but it's just, they're not my cup of tea. But Lover, 1989, Reputation, Debut, Speak Now, those are all very fun, great albums to me.
Thank you for sharing. I'm sure somebody somewhere has problems with what you just said. It certainly isn't me.
It certainly isn't you, yeah.
Unless our boy Crollo is gonna fight you in the comments about Taylor. Maybe he's a big Swiftie.
Maybe.
Yeah.
He's scared of women, so probably.
Yeah, well, Crollo is, yeah, he's one of those. So sometimes something that actually irritates me a little bit is when I'm reading comic books or a book or watching a movie or just consuming media in some way.
Right.
People will say things like, a lot of anger is born from fear, or worse, they'll say all anger stems from fear. Ridiculous. You don't have to be, like, if, I don't know, if you just, like, punched me in the face right now and I got angry, that would not be born from fear. It doesn't make any sense.
Fear of getting hurt.
I'm already hurt. Like it is, to me, it doesn't make sense. Regardless of that, though, Crollo's anger towards women is born of fear.
Yeah.
I feel bad. I just roast my man for no reason. Well,
A little roasting.
for a little light roasting. Some people have thicker skin and can handle some roasting. Some people do not. Crollo's a real one though, so he can handle it because he's based. Crollo's a cool gentleman. Certified real breakfast hours enjoyer.
We do appreciate that.
What else was that? So you had Taylor Swift is one of yours.
Oh yeah, and briefly, the Barbie movie comes out this Friday, and I am so excited. You know what? I think we should wear our Barbie movie fits for Real Breakfast Hours when we film it on Saturday.
Our breakfast hours 20 better feature me
It's
in
gonna
pink.
be so good, and that's so okay. So this Friday is the Barbie movie premiere. We're getting all dolled up. We're getting our Barbie fits on. We're going out to dinner before because we're not going until like the 10 p.m. showing because I don't get out till 5, and we probably want to hit the gym real quick, and then I'm gonna have to shower. So it's like gonna be a whole thing. So we're going to the 10 o'clock showing, but that's fun anyways. It's fun to like stay up late and watch a movie, you know. But then next Friday is my birthday. So basically, it's just good vibes for the rest of July.
Yes, somebody's a little spoiled, but that's alright. Tomorrow we're going to see Mission Impossible, which we were supposed to see last weekend, but then my boss was like, can you travel Tuesday? And I was like, I'm not going to say no because I'm going to see Mission Impossible, so yes. Well, she actually said, check with your girlfriend, would you be able to travel? Because my other coworkers, which I have something else to talk about that, one of them, he has like 2 really young kids, so he can't just like go at the drop of the hat. We go, right? But it's not like you don't get told. It's more, I need one of you guys to go to California. One guy lives alone, doesn't have kids. His girlfriend lives out of town. I'm pretty sure his cat lives with his girlfriend because he's gone all the time, so he couldn't take care of the thing. So he is very apt to just like go. He's almost never in the office because he's always on the road. So that eats up a lot of the, I need somebody to go blank, which is great. However, the other three of us have families, right? Like, we're not like married or anything, but it's not like, oh, well, we're actually going to be out of town this weekend, and I have plans and have spent money. It's not like she can just be like, hey, I need you to get in the plane on Saturday with like no notice, So feasibly she could, but like, I just won't get on the plane then, But regardless, everybody's very good about accommodating each other, and it works well because of that. Because, like, the implication is I will say yes to whatever travel thing needs to occur, but I have the room to be like, can I go a day later or something, as needed.
Right.
But it's a lot easier to just change the time I'm going to see a movie than to worry about all that with work. So,
yeah.
4th of July weekend. You can cut this part out. Sorry, I'm stuttering. 4th of July weekend. So I go, one of my coworkers, his name is Sean, he did probably 65% of my training.
Wow.
I spent a lot of time with Sean. His job, he travels too, but a little bit less than me. Like, my number could be up to 50% of the time. I believe his job description is only up to like 30% of the time. So more time in the office, less time on the road. So me getting up and running, I'm not going to be on the road as much as some of the other people yet, because I don't have, like, there's a lot of different things that you might have to do on the road. They want you to get practice doing them in office before they send you out there, because you don't want to show up alone in Kentucky and not know what you're doing, obviously. Sean had been out working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. He gets back Thursday night. He's in the office on Friday. Friday was a half day. Our boss actually let everybody out a little bit early that Friday. He was like, hey, you know what? It's the summer. It's a 4th of July weekend. Everybody can go home at noon today. I was like, perfect. Sean's like, I'm going to stay a little later. I was gone all week. Got some stuff to catch up on. And I said, well, Sean, I will see you on Monday. Or actually, I'm taking Monday off. And Tuesday's a holiday. So I'll see you on Wednesday. Don't have too much fun this weekend, And we laughed. Had a good weekend with you, right? I can't remember exactly what we did, but we had
Something fun, probably.
Something fun, I'm sure. Probably went to see your parents for on the actual 4th.
Yeah.
I think we had burgers and dogs or something. Normal 4th of July stuff. Monday morning, the Monday that I'm not going to work, I was scheduled not to come in that day. I put my PTO in and stuff. My alarm clock goes off at 9 because I wanted to wake up still in the morning, but not like work morning. At 9:01, my phone rings. Hello? Hi, Mike. It's my boss. I'm like, oh God. What's up? And she said, I'm sorry to bother you on your day off, but I wanted to tell you that your coworker Sean passed away last night. Excuse me? I guess he just died on Sunday, and we don't know what happened to him yet. But so for the last week or two, it's been really weird where I'll want to have a question or something, and he's just not at his desk because the poor guy is deceased. And I had to travel this past week, as you know, and I don't have a travel kit yet. But my boss handed me Sean's and said, take good care of it. So it's been a rough week in the office regarding that. And we had some customer who I think was emailing him and was waiting for a response. And I believe I had responded to them on Friday. like Friday the 6th or whatever the day after. It's like if the 4th is a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday the 7th or the 8th.
Yeah.
I respond to this person. All of our July Fridays are half days, so I respond to them at like 9, 10 a.m. Go home at noon. On Monday, I spend all day getting ready to travel, and they send an email back at like 5:30 p.m. on Monday. So I'm out of the office already, and I'm gone all week. This past Friday, this person we have professional development days in July. That's why they're half days. Everybody in the office is in a meeting, except for the CEO who is at his desk, and the phone rings and the CEO picks it up. It's this guy who has just been emailing at all the wrong times, and he's like, "Wah, slow response time. Will somebody help me?" And the CEO got him. I was like, "Oh man, that's not good." But yeah, work has been wild. Rest in peace. You will be missed. Where they're doing a celebration of life for him on this Sunday.
Oh,
all right, next Sunday I'd like to go. I don't know if you're invited or not, but you can come if you want. I don't know. It's been a weird month, right? And it's only the 18th.
Well, it's also been weird. I mean, obviously that's very sad, but it's also been weird because I swear this is the rainiest July ever.
Oh my god, I know.
And June was, like, all of June was rain. July has been mostly rain. It's been a little bit sunnier, but so much rain. I don't understand. This is not my sweet summer months that I am used to as a sweet summer child, a child of July. Like, what is happening right now?
I think we're getting
global warming.
All of the bad weather out of the way, so that when the Barbie movie premieres, all the Kenergy is going to release from the theater like a beam of light and shoot up and clear all the clouds for the rest of the summer.
One can only hope.
One can only hope. You know what time it is, Mikhail?
What?
It's time for everybody's favorite, or at least one person's least favorite part of the show.
Oh no.
The sports section. I only have 3 very short things to mention. We're going to go in ascending order of excitement for sports news. The least exciting thing first, that's being that there's a racetrack for NASCAR in New Hampshire, which I always forget exists. I always just think of the South, like Daytona and Myrtle Beach and stuff like that. But I guess because we were just talking about the terrible weather, they're postponing the race that's supposed to happen this weekend until Monday, and people are quite unhappy about it. Somebody even posted a picture of what looked to be Optimus Prime, if like the truck form of Optimus Prime, because I'm not sure if you've ever watched a race before, but they often have like RVs and other stuff in center field.
Okay.
So some Optimus Prime was in center field, and they were like, "Oh no, this guy came all the way out here for the race, and now it's going to be postponed." But he stayed. He's remaining apparently. So I guess he will. If you all you NASCAR fans out there, train your eyes, because Optimus, we might see some Autobots at Monday's race, I guess, in New Hampshire. Second, DeAndre Hopkins, all-star wide receiver, 4-time Pro Bowler. He just got traded to the Titans for a couple years, which, you know, we're decent Titans fans. Patriots first around here, but the Titans are so much fun to watch.
I love the Titans.
So it's exciting that they're getting a good receiver. So I don't know, maybe they'll make some waves down there in Tennessee. See how that one goes. And the third one, I will mince my words just a little bit on this one, just to be careful.
Oh.
The third sports-related news is, you may remember, I don't know however many years ago, but the coach of the women's Olympic gymnastics team was being extremely inappropriate, to put it politically correctly. Assaulting, exploiting, putting his hands where they don't belong, all that stuff, with a couple 100 girls or something.
Just all of them.
All of them. Basically any woman who came through because they wanted to be in the Olympic gymnastics team or something like that. He was patting them down, let's just say. He went to jail for it. There was a lot of compensation paid out. That was years ago. Well, this week, I guess, I don't know what he said or what he did, but he got stabbed in jail. He lived, though. So,
But
there's
you
that.
love to see it.
But you do, we some people are just evil, like this individual, for the amount of suffering and mistreatment that he has put out into the world. And sometimes there are people in jail who don't like that. So,
You know what is so annoying sometimes? On TikTok, or like Facebook, whatever, you'll be like going through the comments and there'll be a video about someone who like did awful things and then it's like, and then they died or something like that. Or like, and then this bad thing happened to him. And people in the comments would be like, yay, I'm glad bad thing happened to you. And there's always someone who's out there, wow, I can't believe you would wish bad things on someone. I'm like, did you not see what this person did? I think I'm okay to wish harm on them. I think that's okay. Like, yeah, whatever, we could get philosophical and, like, maybe, like, Jesus wouldn't want that. But I'm just saying, as a person, I think it's okay to be like, yeah, that person deserved it.
I do think that instinctually, we just, as animals, animal first, human second, the animal brain does believe very strongly in an eye for an eye. Like, if somebody wrongs you, you just, like, at a base level want to see them wronged in return. But the like, elevated, spiritual, like, human part of you understands that, two wrongs don't make a right. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't feel good to see a bad person suffer bad things.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you just robbed that old lady and then you get struck by lightning? That feels good, I wouldn't necessarily wish lightning strikes on my enemies, though perhaps I could.
Is it so wrong?
It might be.
And I am man.
And I am man. It's like Rocky. If you've ever seen Rocky, she like asked him to stop yelling or stop fighting or something. He's like, "Don't ask me to stop being a man."
Unfortunately, also speaking of questionable acts,
filthy acts at a reasonable price.
We talked about the Colleen Ballinger apology video last week.
We did?
2 weeks ago.
With the ukulele?
The ukulele?
Oh, man.
I brought her up. Well, listen. I thought, like, I would have one update for this, right? But now I have, like, 2 updates for this. It just keeps growing. One, because people are like, here's another video from the past where she was doing questionable things. A lot of times it's like, here's, like, where she was being a racist caricature, or, like, here's where she made bad sexual jokes, or here's where she was encouraging fans to do XYZ. That is inappropriate because they were minors. But actually, so Trisha Paytas, another YouTuber, frequently in drama. But you know what? She was on Frenemies, which was the H3 podcast. Stop. It was the H3 podcast, Ethan Klein, Trisha Paytas, Frenemies. It was, listen, it sounds like it would be bad, and realistically, it was bad because there was drama, but it was one of the best things I've ever seen on the internet. It was just good. And that's the reason why I started watching the H3 podcast. And they stopped because big drama happened. But, basically, I still keep up with both of them from time to time. But she actually had started a podcast with Colleen, I guess, this year or something. And obviously that's not happening anymore. Yeah, if they can even read your handwriting.
Oh, you know what? I used to lose points in school for how bad my handwriting was. And then you could get put in this, like, program in public school for, like, I think it was specifically for people with ADHD that they, because I guess people with ADHD have bad handwriting. I don't take my time with anything else. Why would I with handwriting, I guess? Basically, they were like, well, because you're a little schizo, you won't lose points for not having nice handwriting. And then
Did the teachers ever have to be like, what does this say?
Yeah, a couple times. But, like, the content was always good. It was just, I can't read it. Point is, then, like, in my last year of high school, my parents, they, like, because you had to, like, ask the doctor for it or something, I guess, I don't know. But they were like, you probably don't need this anymore, right? I was like, yeah, I don't think so. My handwriting's been improving, and the teacher has never really, like, it's been a while since I've had to talk about it, so I stopped doing it. I just, like, didn't have it that year. Of course, I did then lose points a couple times for not being on it anymore, so,
Incredible.
God forbid, I guess. But it said current mood disapproval, because I spit on some of these internet people you're talking about.
Anyways, so Trisha Paytas if you don't know, other than like being this person on YouTube who does a lot of wacky things and is in a lot of drama, which she has like not been in as much recently because I think she's been in therapy and she got married and now she literally has a baby, which there was a whole thing with people were joking that her baby was going to be the reincarnation of Queen Elizabeth because she had the baby like very shortly after Queen Elizabeth died, which is kind of funny. Someone had like made a fake post saying she was born the day that Queen Elizabeth died, but that was not true. She was born like a week or something later. Anyways, she has an OnlyFans, and apparently Colleen was like taking pictures, like subscribed to Trisha's OnlyFans, and like was supposedly like semi-friendly with Trisha at this time, and this was like years ago. But she would take, like, download pictures and videos or like screenshot them or whatever from Trisha's OnlyFans, which, you know, is sexual content, and was sending them into these group chats with minors. So literally committing a crime. Like literally sending sexual imagery and videos to minors. And then like talking crap about Trisha Paytas's body with them and like just bullying her and stuff. So, like, literally committing crimes, like, federal crimes, and being a bully to someone that she was supposedly friends with. And, like, first of all, it's just messed up. Like, never, like, if someone sends you their images, right, like, nudes, like, you should not be spreading that to other people. That's a total violation of trust. Even though, like, I mean, she wasn't sending her them, but she subscribed to the OnlyFans, but, like, still. It's messed up to send it to anyone. It's illegal to send them to a minor. So, interesting news. And, like, one of the minors who has come out against her had, like, finally posted screenshots and things, and video, or I don't know. They had proof that they were posting. So Trisha posted a video responding to all of it, and was actually, surprisingly, because Trisha is known for her drama, and actually I think she says she has borderline personality disorder. And I believe her because she says that, although she also said she had DID, and that was a whole controversy, but it does seem like that could be in line
She's unwell.
with her behavior. But like I said, I think she's probably in therapy or doing something, so she handled it basically this could have been a very triggering event for her that she probably in the past would have like made a video screaming, crying, yelling, all this stuff. She just made a video sitting down and was talking like pretty slowly, very clearly, just expressing that she had nothing to do with like sending the images to minors, that she didn't agree with it, that she didn't agree with, you know, any assault or stuff of dealing with minors. She didn't know, blah blah blah, this whole stuff. So, and that she like doesn't associate with Colleen anymore, and she literally was like, she means nothing to me now, which is like fair. So that was one thing. I was like, ooh. Because, like, one, it's just, like, a crappy move to do, but it's also illegal. So that was, like, an update. But, also, you might have seen people have been, like, making fun of the ukulele apology song because, like, what was going through her mind? Like, who does that? Who says, I'm being accused of sex crimes. Perhaps I will make a silly little ditty in which I don't even apologize or acknowledge my actions and instead deny everything. Or gaslight people into thinking that it's actually the victims are just spreading toxic gossip about me. So
YouTuber apologies are hilarious to me because a lot of the time, like, for me anyway, I don't know if this is a rational thought or not, but I would assume that if somebody accused me of some heinous things, I would have two options. One, I didn't do it, so I come out and I deny it. I very seriously, just flat out, I didn't do it. Don't accuse me of these terrible things. End video, you know?
Yeah.
Or I did do it, and then you have two options, right? You can either lie and deny, right? But then you just do the first thing again.
Right.
Or you own up to it and apologize, like, I did it, it was wrong, I'm sorry. But, like, in none of those scenarios do you, like, get a little drum and a flute, and you're like, I didn't touch those kids.
They're spreading misinformation about me.
Like, it's messed up. Like, you don't do that. You don't do that, you know?
So, God knows. But H3 podcast again. Sorry, Ethan. No, this is kind of funny though because he was making posts about it. Adam McIntyre is like a drama YouTuber, and he was one of the victims who came forward about Colleen. He's actually like been on the H3 podcast before or something, or he talks with Ethan's mom because they were doing like families for a little bit, and that was when I was still watching it and keeping up with it. One, because I wasn't in medical school yet, and two, I was filling the void of frenemies because like I missed it so deeply, and I still kind of miss it, but whatever. I don't have time for it anymore, anyways.
We don't have time to unpack all of that.
So they like made like this whole PowerPoint video, I guess, about it. I didn't even get to watch it yet. I wanted to, but at the beginning of that video, he hired some like gospel like group.
Oh yeah, I caught you watching. I say caught because it's a crime, but I saw her watching.
But it was funny. So he hires this like gospel singing group to sing the Colleen Ballinger song. Well, apparently she published the song like as a song,
like on Spotify.
Yeah, like Apple Music or whatever, so that she has like the copyright stuff. By the way, she was selling it for $9.99 on Apple Music.
For one song?
For one song, right? It's usually like 99 cents on Apple Music for
regardless
one song, right?
Yeah, like if it's not Graduation by Kanye West, it's probably not worth $10. I'm gonna let you finish. But Graduation's one of the best albums of all time.
Absolutely stop. She posts it, and then she starts like putting out copyright strikes to people, including Ethan, and yeah. So there was just more drama, and I can't believe that in the face of all this, which like by the way, I don't know if there's like a statute of limitations on like sending sex imagery to minors. So like maybe she can't be arrested for that.
Most people who get like caught for this type of stuff in online discourse, they never serve jail time. That's why EDP 445. I'm not going to tell you what that acronym stands for. He was caught doing stuff just like this. He even sent pictures of his feces to a child over texts one time. He was like flirting with a 13-year-old and sent pictures of his poop to them because he thought that was good pillow talk or something. I don't know. I don't know. And then he then was Chris Hansen into, we should meet near the Toys R Us. And then he showed up expecting to meet a 14-year-old, but instead it was a grown man with a camera. So he's been like kicked off of all his platforms. He can't hold down a job. He keeps trying to come back to YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and they always ban him because they know he touches kids. But he doesn't go to jail because of the like limitations on like internet detective work, basically.
And we need to change that.
Like your employer might know you touch kids, but like the evidence that wouldn't hold up in court, basically.
It's just crazy to me because there's literally like screenshots and I think like video evidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So,
to me, she should serve jail time. But whatever. I just want to say that I hate the TikTok NPC trend, and it just keeps popping up on my thing. And if you follow me on TikTok, which should also be at Mickey Gervais, I don't know.
And also follow the cat.
And the cat, his is I think at Cat of the Sun or Raw Cat of the Sun or something. So if you want to see us on TikTok, check that out. But I made a TikTok about it because I was like, these NPC live things are just out of control, and I keep blocking them, and they keep popping up because like everyone's doing it, and I don't understand. You need 1,000 followers on TikTok to go live. I don't know. These are some of the most random, annoying, talentless people I've seen. How do these people have more than 1,000 followers? Some of them that I've seen doing this had like millions, or at least like 500,000. I was like, how do these people have this many followers on TikTok?
Doesn't make any sense to me.
So it's driving me crazy.
Now, I got something for you.
Okay.
Just a little send off here. Something to get people talking in the comments.
Well, we also have a send off because I remembered what we were supposed to do for this episode, so we'll do it next week.
Okay. Well, what is yours? Well, mine's okay. Question for you. Why don't you take this and fill this little.
Like really big.
She's a firm pineapple on pizza enjoyer.
It's delicious.
And maybe next week I'll have a different yes or no question that can get some responses, I guess. But
let us know what you think.
Oh, watch this. Hold on.
There is a right answer. It's mine.
Mickey says, pineapple on pizza? That's a yes. It's a thumbs up.
My name is Mickey and I endorse
That's
this
2
message.
thumbs way up on a pineapple on a pizza as far as this one's concerned.
It's delicious. It's a good combo.
Let us know what you think in the comments, and if this upsets you, let us know what crimes you'll...
Oh, that's a good send-off thing. My other one that I just want to add is that we've been talking about doing an episode where we kind of rank animated, or is it just like, it's not animated specific, it's just like fictional breakfast?
You know what?
The idea?
I believe that was it. Yeah, we could divvy it up. Maybe we could do a few episodes like we do Disney breakfasts. Though I guess it's kind of hard because I don't really know how many there are. But we could do like animated breakfasts, like characters from the Studio Ghibli movies. I'm sure they have some incredible looking breakfasts.
So if you...
the bacon pancakes from Adventure Time.
Yeah, so if you have a fictional animated breakfast that you want us to tier, send that in the comments below.
Yeah, just off looks, how good we think it would taste, all that.
Yeah. And then that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. We should be back to our normal schedule for next week.
For however long that lasts.
Until I have my next test on Monday. But that's okay. And thank you for watching. Send us your breakfast.
Send us your breakfast.
Like,
and
comment, subscribe.
And tune in next week. See ya.